Chris B. Haynes of the I almost said sign line. Chris B. Haynes of the Uncaught but Beecher Report, whatever. I don't know why I butchered that, but either way, Chris B. Haynes says the Golden State Warriors are a team to watch for Pascal Siakam. There's a wild horse team out there that I've been told to look out for by rival executives, the Golden State Warriors. I do think ultimately this will be the trade deadline that Pascal Siakam is moved. I said it. Pascal Siakam and Otto Porter Jr. for Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, Chris Paul, and 1 first-round pick, 4 seconds. Who says no? But why would they do it? Chris Paul his trade value isn't impacted because he's technically an expiring. Like, his contract is very, very nice. A team like the Raptors would like his contract. And the thing is, by getting Pascal Siakam, that agility and speed is so formidable next to Curry. And also, they could trade Andrew Wiggins if they wanted, instead of doing Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga deal with Moses Moody. But I think Chris Paul has more trade value than Andrew Wiggins. But, dude, literally imagine Pascal Siakam, Steph Curry out there, and Brandon Podziemski, Draymond Green running the floor. Dude, Pascal Siakam has that spin move that kills people and attacks the rim, and he's a tireless defender on the perimeter, which is something that they have need. And the guy can go in clutch times. The only thing with him is his 3-point shots kind of whack. But guess what? Pascal don't care. They'll figure it out. So here's the rest of our reporting on what we know about the Warriors. Let me hear your guys' thoughts. So Chris Paul broke his hand. He'll be out for a few weeks, and he's one of the best trade chips that the Warriors have. Even though he's been playing great, the Warriors will still have to consider moving him if they want to get somebody else. The injury will keep him past the trade deadline, but it doesn't figure to impact his trade value, as he's out indefinitely requiring hand surgery. Now, CP3 at the ripe age of like 38 is averaging 9 points, 43% from the field, 36% from 3, about 7 assists a night, 4 rebounds a game, a steal in 28 minutes, which is career low minutes. But he's still balling. And we're hearing that they're interested in Pascal Siakam, that he could be moved for a guy like if you package Chris Paul, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody for Pascal Siakam and like Otto Porter, I think everybody's cool with that deal, in my opinion. I'm serious. Like, Warriors fans, what do you guys think? Like, it just goes to show like the frustration that they're having with everything that's going on within the organization, and we know that they are a team that are expected to make a move. So for me, I think that's just generally one of the more interesting things, in my opinion. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we're hearing from Hoops Hype that the Warriors could trade Chris Paul if they continue to underwhelm. Let me hear your thoughts down below, and let's get right into this news. So the Warriors are a team that currently, the Spurs, Blazers, Jazz are all likely headed for the lottery. That leaves 11 teams in the mix for the Western Conference play-in tournament. One of them has to miss it, and it's crazy to say that the Warriors could be that team. After starting this season 6-2, they've lost 8 of their last 11, and that's with a 6-game losing streak. Steph Curry's still an MVP candidate. However, Klay Thompson's off to another terrible start. Even though he's shooting 41% from the field and 36% from 3, he just doesn't look apart. Andrew Wiggins looks out of shape, and he's just reverted to his Timberwolves days. Draymond Green is there, and he's still, he missed the suspension, but it's not the same thing. But the Warriors have a bench. Like, they've got a good 6 rotational players. Chris Paul, Jonathan Kuminga, Darius Arch, Moses Moody, Gary Payton II, and Brandon Podziemski. Though they hold a net neutral rating, despite the 6-game losing streak, with only one of their losses ending in a blowout. ESPN's BPI projects them to win 44 games, which is enough to qualify for the play-in tournament. However, what if this is who they are? That we've been waiting to see if their age is catching up to the guys, and maybe Father Time is starting to win. Maybe beating Klay Thompson, maybe beating Draymond Green a bit. And this team as a core, Bob Myers stepped away because he probably saw writing on the wall. And how much more money can this team spend, especially with the luxury tax? Obviously, the short answer is, this isn't the end of the franchise, but Curry, Thompson, and Green, not the franchise, but the dynasty, have expressed their desire to retire as a Warrior. I don't think that's going to happen for Green or Thompson. I think it'll happen for Curry. But I do believe that there's no easy fix for the Warriors, but they have a $208.3 million payroll with a $192.5 million tax that this team, if they're a playing team, can't justify a $400 million bill. So supposedly, if the Warriors want to remain competitive this season, and considering they owe a top 4 protected pick in the top 24 first round, to the Blazers, the logical solution is to reduce the tax penalty by trading Paul, the Golden State's top trade candidate, according to Michael Scotto. Paul has $31 million this year, $30 million next year. Teams with plenty of space below the apron would have to send $23 million to match Paul. Reducing Golden State's payroll by $7.5 million would decrease the tax by $50, and it could save some more if the Warriors were to offload the players they receive. So it's definitely interesting to see what's going on here. And yeah, I want to hear you guys' thoughts if you guys are in agreement.
Hearing that Klay Thompson could be moved, according to Jake Fisher, it seems that NBA execs are wondering if the Warriors would trade Klay Thompson. Yesterday we talked about Chris Paul. So actually, my apology. I said Jake Fisher. This is actually coming from Zach Lowe of ESPN. Zach Lowe said he's heard from at least 4 executives of other teams in the last 72 hours when they asked them would they ever trade Klay Thompson. And the reason that they're asking is because teams see somewhat of an opportunity here. Can we get involved in a deal? What would they have to attach in terms of asset to trade for Klay Thompson if they want to get a meaningful win now talent with multiple years left in their contract in exchange for Klay Thompson, is what maybe the Warriors are thinking. And it's definitely an interesting situation because, what is his trade value at this point? It's definitely interesting when we look at this. Klay Thompson's making a bunch of money, and my only assumption is if the Warriors supposedly want to keep salary on the books so they can do trades. So you're thinking that they would want to call up a team that has multiple salaries that can be traded. That's why I've been thinking, do you think they would go after, okay, I know a lot of people don't like Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier, but Terry Rozier, and then if you could somehow move Gordon Hayward to another team for a separate contract that's on a multi-year deal, or maybe break it up, that's not that bad of a play. And I think that there's options. There's definitely options for the Golden State Warriors in comparison to, previous years. Even though Klay's having a bad season, I think he's still a commodity. You guys just hear that screenshot? I still think he's a commodity and a guy that's going to have suitors, to say the least. So that's where I'm not worried, but I get it. I get, that if you're a fan of the Warriors, you might be concerned. But at the same time, you need to maximize his value, because if he does this again next year, dude, his trade value is going to be completely depleted in comparison to, where it is right now. So I think that's something that's definitely got to be considered if you're a Warriors fan. You have to understand that there is a thought of what's his face might not be as valuable as he once was. So you got to trade him with the iron. You got to strike when the iron's still hot. And I think the iron is still hot, but there is trade value, that people have belief in him. But there is detractors, and it's going to get louder. So I think all of that's something that people need to consider and think about, because that's all things that play a factor, in my opinion, at least in my eyes. What about you, Jasmine? Would you trade Klay Thompson? She's like, I would have traded his ass years ago. Really, years ago. She was right after the championship. I wouldn't even be worried. She's like, you got to hit when the iron's super hot. When the price is super high, good girl. Okay, that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy.